YouTube tarot reader Lisa Lee has been found using bad language during her twice-weekly live streams. In a shocking turn of events, it has also been discovered that she will not tell you what you want to hear, only what you need to know. The internet is in collective shock that authenticity is alive and well in this corner of the YouTube meta space. Do not watch if you are easily offended.
Hello, I don't know whether you're going to be able to hear me at all. I am trying to get everything working. Whoa, we're back. Okay, I'm sure you can hear me now. Wow. Okay, we're back. We have, I think we've got sound. I've got sound my end. I don't know whether you've got sound your end. Let me know in the comments if you can actually hear me. But yes, good evening, everybody. Good evening. It is Tuesday evening here on the stream. Good. Thank you, Amy. Bryn, you're straight in there with the super chats, aren't you, my darling? Thank you very much for that. We'll get on to that very shortly. Mr. Lynn, thank you very much for being here, my love. And yes, this is Beyond Authentic, as it says, and we're going to be doing some tarot reading tonight. So if you would like a reading, then yes, good evening. And if you would like a reading, there are two ways of getting a reading on this channel. The main or the easiest way is to send it as a super chat, as Bryn MRC has done. And then that will come through automatically to me through on a different screen and everything. I will double check that, Holland. It should be. So yeah, if you are looking for a tarot reading, that's the simplest way. It guarantees that you're up next. If, however, you don't want to donate or you're unable to donate, that's not a problem. Just wait until we open up a free round. And when that happens, then it is time to pop your chat into the live round. Start your question with the word question, and I will pick one of those at random. Okay, there's different ways that we do it, and yeah, all of that is done, so we try and keep everything thank you, Holland. It wasn't, so we try and keep everything as fair as possible on the streams. So yes, as you'll see there in the chat, we've got Patricia and Holland modding for us today. So Patricia and Holland keep everything absolutely nice and sorted. So they keep everything running happily on the stream. We might have Ed today. We might have, we won't have Neil on board, but we might have Ed, and Jay might even pop in as well as mods. So we don't know. But the mods basically keep everything nice and running on the stream. So they keep everything ticking over. So if a moderator asks you to confirm anything or ask you any question, please just imagine that it's me that's typing that or asking that, because when I'm doing the readings, and even sometimes as I'm talking to you now, as I've just done, I'm on a back screen sorting other bits and pieces out, and it's the mods that help keep everything ticking over. So basically the mods are like generals. They're my generals, if you like. Although we're all peace loving and you know, what's the word where we don't like violence? What's that word? What's that word? We are, I can't remember the word. Pacifists. Oh my God, my brain. There we go. You just got to wait a few seconds for my brain to kind of go, right, of these multiple tangents, which one is the word on? There we go. You're my plastic police. I don't know what plastic police is. That's obviously a reference to something. No idea though. But anyway, there are some rules on the channel. The rules on the channel are dead simple. Okay. The first biggest main rule of this channel is, above all else, be kind to one another. Basically, don't be a dick, right? That is the biggest rule of all. But we've also got some rules regarding the tarot. So as it says on the bottom of the screen, tarot is for entertainment purposes only. You do make all of your own decisions about your own life. Tarot should never be used to replace medical advice, legal advice, financial advice, or counseling advice. If you are looking for support in those areas, please go and check out professionals in those areas. Also, you've got to be 18 years of age or over to receive a reading on this channel. And remember, please do not share personal information on the interwebs here or anywhere else on the interwebs unless you want that information to be discoverable. Because although this is a you know, a relatively small channel, a nano channel on the YouTube platform, so we don't get thousands and thousands of people accessing the videos, there's enough. And also, at some point in the future, when Google and Alexa and Siri and everybody else all joins up, they will be able to go through and see exactly what you typed back, you know, 20 years ago in 2024 on a random tarot channel. They will be able to see that. Just keep all of that in mind and keep your own safety paramount, basically. Yeah, so keep your own safety. Anyway, all of that being said, if you are here, if you are able to chat in the doodah, if you're able to chat in the comment section, then that means that you are obviously already a subscriber, because you do have to be a subscriber for at least 5 minutes before you're able to make comments. So we've done that just so that it's fair for everybody on the channel when we do the free reading rounds. So all of that has been said. I think that's everything. I don't think I'm forgetting anything. Am I forgetting anything? I don't think I'm forgetting anything. Me and Neil did film a podcast yesterday. Okay, so the next podcast is in the can. I've just got to edit it. It might have gone on for over 2 hours. So normally the podcasts are about an hour. So what I've said to Neil, hang on, let me just drink another slurp of my coffee. Got to get that dopamine fix. What I said to Neil was, I'm going to make the standard about an hour cut, and then I'm going to make a members only cut that will go a little bit deeper, because we did talk a lot yesterday all about gatekeeping. It's a fascinating subject and we barely scratched the surface in 2 hours. So I might make a longer one for the members as well, where we go into it a bit more. So keep an eye out on the channel. If you haven't already, this is the perfect time to remind you. I know you subscribed, but please do hit that bell and change your settings to all, right? It's really important. Hit that bell, change the settings to all. That way YouTube will notify you when the videos go live. So yes. Right then, who have we got in the chat today? We've got Mr. Lynn, good evening to you. Good evening to Patricia. Good evening to Holland. Good evening to Scorpio 1180. Scorpio 1180. It sounds like an American radio station, doesn't it? Hi, you're listening to Scorpio 1180, or it'd be a Scorpio 1180, live on the 1180 network, coming at you. I'm doing a weird noise. I could have just done that. Scorpio 1180. Do you know what I mean? That's what it sounds like. I did say I was going to do radio voice today, and I've already messed all that up, haven't I? Anyway, we've got a super chat in from Bryn, so it is time to get cracking with the knacking, and let's get everything. I'm going to move the keyboard out the way, and then it is time to let's get going with some tarot readings. So then, as always, if you are new to the channel, as I say, there are 2 ways to get a reading. The easiest way is to send it as a super chat. That way automatically comes through onto my system. Just make sure you put your question in with your super chat donation. That's really important. If you don't know how to send a super chat, there's a little $sign just underneath where you put your comments. You can click there of any amount of a donation that comes through, and that will guarantee you a super chat reading. So that means your reading is next. Also, don't forget, every time that we get donations in, at least once YouTube's taken its cut, which is, it varies. I know on memberships it's 30%. I think on super chats it might be 45. Can't remember. But once YouTube's taken its cut and all of that, then at that point, it might be the other way around, but then at that point, whatever's left, when I get sent it via the Google, 10% goes to Bladder Cancer UK, which is to Bladder Cancer UK, which is a bladder cancer charity here in the UK, and the other one goes to Fight Bladder Cancer, which is a second bladder cancer charity here in the UK. So we donate 10% to each of those 2 charities. They're the ones that helped me out over the last couple of years while I've been dealing with some bladder cancer issues. So then, Bryn MRC has done just that, and they have sent a super chat. So let's go and have a look for the other camera. So we're going to switch to the other camera. Oh, look at that. It needs to be brought down and into place. This is a regular occurrence on this channel. The positioning of the card cam. It's an annual thing. It's a daily thing when I do the streams, isn't it? Where we just have to get everything in the right position. Oh, also, let me just make sure I've got airplane mode on my phone. Nope, I didn't. Look at that. I do. Oh. Hang on. There we go. I do now. Airplane mode is initiated. Fantastic. So then, as always, if you would like a reading, no, that's not what I was about to say. As always, when we do a reading on this channel, we bring in the little bell and we cleanse the space. Why do I do that? Because I do a lot of readings and I use this space for a lot of other things, including putting on things like my mascara. So I like to cleanse the space before doing each reading. And then we bring in Wispy, who is the air dragon, the air elemental that I work with. If you want to know more details about the dragons, down in the description box, just down below, just where there's a page break, above that is a link to the podcast episode. It seems very dark on the webcam. Let me just see then if I can. Is there? Hang on. Computer. Backroom light to 60%.
A couple things share that name. Backroom and backroom lamp. Which one did you want?
Backroom light. There we go. There we go. I've done that. There we go. That makes it brighter, doesn't it? There we go. You can see everything a bit clearer now. Anyway, let's have a wee look. So, as always, we are going to ask Wispy. Wispy, Bryn MRC would like to know, how does my Libra feel about me after our most recent date? Ooh, that's what we want to know. How does the Libra feel about Bryn after their recent date? Let's have a look. So then don't forget, everybody, once I'm into the reading like I am now, I do have my chats off. So I do have everything off. So I can't see anything apart from the question on my screen. So there we go. Just in case, if anybody wonders why sometimes, like, people in the comments will ask me questions, or, you know, Bryn could be there going, oh, thank you, Lisa, or absolutely not, 100% no, 100% yes, or whatever. I can't see any of that until after I've done the reading, because I don't watch the comment section. Because of my ADHD, I will get very easily distracted and start talking and thinking about what you're all discussing rather than what the cards are saying. And obviously we're all here for tarot reading, aren't we? We're not here for discussions about what I thought of, you know, last week's Star Trek episode or whatever. So then let's have a look, Wispy. We're going to do, I tell you what, because we've got a date that's happened, let's go with, I'm just looking to see which one we want. We'll go with your wants, Bryn. Okay, what you want initially. Then we'll go with what Libra wants. And then we'll look at the relationship overall. And we'll do it as a deep V from Libran's perspective. Okay, so actually we'll go what Libran wants, what you want. Wispy, I've changed it. Oh, Wispy, thank you. So we want what the Libran wants, what Bryn wants, and what the relationship future has, right? What the future is like for the relationship. So what Libran wants. Four of Pentacles, what Bryn wants, Knight of Wands, and where the relationship is heading. Page of Pentacles. Okay, not too bad. And then we're going to look at the connective tissue between the Four and the Knight. We've got the Six of Pentacles. Okay. And between the Knight of Wands and the Page of Pentacles, we've got the Two of Swords. And then right at the very root of this, we've got the Nine of Wands. So this is all from the Libran's position, if that makes sense. So the Four of Pentacles. So first of all, at first glance, there are no major arcana cards here, right? So that means that this is not a done and dusted. There is still a lot of flux here, because the major arcana cards, the ones that you see all the time on the telly when you're looking at, you know, when anybody is looking at the tarot on TV, you get things like, you know, the Strength card and the Justice card. And famously, you get things like the Death card. Those are all the major arcana cards. We've got none of those here in this spread. Okay. So this means there's a lot of flux. A lot is still to be decided, because there's none of those shouty fence post cards. Anywho, so what the Libran wants, we've got the Four of Pentacles reversed. Fours for me are all about stability. They're all about taking a pause. This is a good time to just look around and see where things are, because everything's kind of on an even keel right now. It is reversed, and it is in the Pentacle suit, which is talking about career, work, finances. So there is a financial, maybe a financial element, but this is also, because this is the element of growth of Earth, this is also about growth and planting seeds for long term. So you can see here the roots of this tree have got coins, and I think that's a fob watch. No, that's a fob watch. I don't quite know what that one is, but you've got a crown and all these other bits and bobs going on in the roots. So this is having laid down those plans a long time ago. This is where things are coming up in the future. And unfortunately, the main tree has been chopped, but there are roots, so it's okay. And there are shoots, so there is still scope for things to happen. So for me, this is really saying that I think Libran has probably gone through it a little bit in their past, but they're now looking at the connection with you as being a bit more balanced, a bit more stable, a bit more looking into the future. But I do think they still have some concerns over their own past, if that makes sense. What you want, we've got the Knight of Wands. I think you just want to go for it, don't you? I think you just want to go for it. I think you're looking for somebody who is going to be in your life as a life partner rather than just a quick shag or something. I think you're also looking for somebody who is bringing in that element of confidence and self-esteem and helping you with that, because we've got the Knight of Wands. So the Knights run really fast. Okay, they are the instant reactions in the tarot deck. They are the ones who, oh my god, there's a loud bang, quick, let's take our torch out and look around the back garden and let the door close behind us, and oh no, they're the ones who run back into the house in a horror film. You know what I mean? That's the Knights. They act without really thinking, and they react very much depending on their experience and surroundings. So the Knight of Wands is saying that I think you are really looking for that best friend who is also a partner type vibe. Okay, whether or not that is this current Libran, I don't know, but I think that's definitely where you're coming from. In terms of the relationship overall, interesting, because we've got the Page. I think your most recent date, I don't think you've been dating for that long. You know, we're talking a few weeks or a few months rather than been dating for 3 years. Do you know what I mean? Because this feels very new. And in the where the relationship is headed, what the relationship's future is, we do still have this coin. But if you look, we have this person who is planting this bulb. There is hope for the future here. So that's a really positive thing, because this bulb is going to be planted. And of course, you've got the lovely shiny rainbow in a deck that doesn't have a lot of actual color. This is one of the most colorful cards, and it's a positive omen, basically. So it looks like in the longer term, there are some plans that you can make here, and maybe you can lay down these roots that will actually help grow into the future. In the connective tissue between the Four of Pentacles, so between the Libran and yourself, this is what's linking you two. We do have a really interesting card, which again has this financial element going on, but this is talking more about community donations. You can see it's a box of donations. Sixes for me are all about the community coming together, the people around you, friends, family, loved ones, all coming around you in support. But the 6 is about giving stuff away. And this is reversed, which means I don't think one of you wants to do this. And I think it could be coming from the Libran. I think there is a little bit of they don't want to give too much, if that makes sense. Now, I don't think this is necessarily in terms of finances, but I think in terms of long-term planning, I think they're probably holding back a little bit compared to where you want to go, if that makes sense. I think you're probably the one that's going, right, come on, let's plant these bulbs for the long term. And then it's going to take 12 years for this tree to flower. And then it will take another 3 years to flower before it fruit. So, you know, we'll be able to have fruit in 15 years. And that would be good, won't it? Because and this card is coming in and going, 15 years. Not quite there yet. Not quite at that point of commitment. Linking what you want with the eventual outcome of the relationship. We've got the Two of Swords reversed. Now, bearing in mind, this is linking what you want with what your vision of the future is, maybe. I think this is where there is maybe a little bit of a clash between what you want and what the Libran wants right now. It's not talking long term, because this is only looking in the now, right? So I think this is literally saying that there is a bit of a difference between your plans and the future plans that you can see. It's like this level is the Librans level going, not quite sure I want that yet. Not quite sure I'm quite there yet. Because the root of it all is this 9 of Wands. And the 9 of Wands is all about confidence, security, self-esteem. Okay. And the 9 is when it is fullest. You can see here, we've got this lovely 9-arm candelabra. And most of the candles are burnt down. But you can see here, the moon is going down and the sun is coming up. So this has burned all night long to keep everything lit. It's used all of that energy to keep everything visible, if that makes sense, to keep the room lit. So when you're looking at this with this as a root, it's saying that actually, I think long term, it kind of is that you both want the same sort of thing. You want that bonded connection. Whether or not that becomes a romantically bonded connection with, family and kids and all that way off into the future, I don't know, because it is literally just saying here about this needing this sort of confident connection. But anyway, and don't forget, we're looking from Libran's perspective. So I think we're looking at this as the recent past, or where the Libran is, and having this as the root. This is what they are longing for, is that feeling of just home. Do you know what I mean? That feeling of everything being good. So then, oh, excuse me. So then when we look overall, we see we go from Libran's perspective, we go from the past to the future. So we've got a little bit of uncertainty about long-term plans, but kind of being happy where things are right now, not really sure about going forward. So this idea of not yet being ready to give up other things for the relationship, maybe not quite ready to give up, a little bit of independence or whatever they see relationships as, leading to this desire. The root desire of all is to have that really strong confidence that, your partner is going nowhere, whether that means marriage, whether that means, committed relationships. It's literally saying that what the Libran wants is just to have that strong, secure knowledge that everything is going to be sort of locked down, if you like, a bit like a married couple that have been together for a while, and you've got that really confirmed, we're in this forever. That's what is wanted, but we're not at that point yet. Okay, because it feels like we go from this need for this connection to there still being the odd disagreement with where things are headed, and it feels like that Two of Swords still needs time to kind of be worked through. I don't think it's a major displacement, because when we get in this version of the spread, when we get up here to the future, we do have this hope for planting this long-term kind of, planting those seeds for a much longer term. So it does feel quite positive. It's just from your perspective, I think you might be keener on this becoming something deep and meaningful, and Libran may be wanting to get there, but at the moment there's just a little bit of feeling where they are and just feeling the ground, if that makes sense. And I think long term, go gently, be prepared for Libran to sort of, take a little bit of a hurdle to get over this idea of, are we moving too quickly? What am I giving up by no longer being single? All of that. But it does feel quite positive because of this page that we will get there. And I hope, my darling, I really hope that helps. From Libran's perspective, I think you just need to be a bit gentle and let them find the benefits of the relationship. Let those benefits grow over time until they are then ready to put down those long-term plans and those long-term seeds. Hope that helps. And thank you ever so much, as always, Bryn, for your generous donation, your super chat, and also thank you for being a friend of the channel, because it is lovely to have people that come back for readings. I must say it is very, very affirming. So thank you ever so much for that. I'm just putting these cards randomly back into the deck as so. Right then, hopefully, my darling, that helps. Let me have a look in the chat and let me bring up there we go, the other camera. Oh yeah, so when I was sorting out that camera, I still need to maybe bring it down just to there we go. Right then, let me have a look in the comments. Yes, that is very true. That is very true. SK, good evening, SK. I hope you are well. Good evening. Thank you, Bryn. Oh, no, there we go. Thank you, Bryn. That's lovely. Ultra Ego Wisdom. Hello. Thank you to you for being here. You are enough. 11111111. Judy. Hello, Judy. You are certainly enough. I think everybody is enough. We are all enough in our own way. Good evening to Eliza. Good evening to LV. Oh, we've had loads of people come in during that reading. My Alexa has a different voice to yours. Mine's Australian. Computer. Volume to 6. Computer. What time is it?
The time is 7:28 p.m.
See? 7:28 p.m. Cobber. You flaming galah. That's what she says. Yeah, see, this is it, right? This is exactly what I'm talking about, Bryn. He expresses things, right? Has that barrier coming down, but then, oh, I'm a bit scared, so that barrier comes back up. You're going to have to kind of ride that through a little bit for a while, because the trust is there, but then whatever's happened in the past, kind of, it's like you get a bit close to the nerve, and then, oh, that barrier goes back up. Do you know what I mean? It's like having a tickle spot. Do you know if you've ever been in bed with a partner who knows your tickle spot, and they're just giving you, like, they're just rubbing your back, and you know their hand is going down towards that tickle spot. For me, it's on like above my hips, just on above the muffin top, basically. For me, that's where it is, without giving away too much. And so the minute I can feel him kind of, I'll go, rub your back, up and down your back. And I go, oh, that's nice. And then it would just go there. So I have this thing of turning it off, and I literally don't allow those connections of somebody touching me on my tickle spot to affect me. So I just go, oh, no response at all, no ticklish, do what you like. And then afterwards I'm like, oh, and it's a bit like that, right? When you can feel somebody about to get to that spot, for me, I shut that connection off so that I don't go, ah! Do you know what I mean? Because that's what I would do. So it feels like Libran is literally doing the same thing. You're getting close to their heart, right close in, and there's feelings and trust developing, and then it's like, oh, turn that off. Don't know what you mean about trust and feelings. I am robotic. I have no funny spot, and it's that, if that makes sense. But it will be overcome. It will be overcome. Trust me. It will be overcome. Right then, to everybody asking about posting questions, absolutely. Let's go ahead. I'm going to open up a free round. So then, how does it work on a free round? Well, I could sit here and tell you, or I could just play this, which does it for me. Yes, indeed. I'm just having a look. Right, so don't forget, if you want a question, do the thing now. I need to give it a bit of time because I'm just looking. We've just literally jumped to 10 by 10 subscribers. So if you are wanting a free tarot reading, go ahead and pop your details into the live chat. Go ahead and do that now. I'll give you another 28 seconds. So if you want a reading, do the thing now. Okay, then let's have a look in the comment section. It looks like we've got 2 questions in, one from Ultra Ego Wisdom and one from LV. Let me just back up a little bit. Yep, so that's all we've got in right now. So we're going to officially close the round there. So then, what happens when I've got 2 questions in? It's a bit scary, that, isn't it? Because nobody knows what happens. What do I do? Well, I do a little bit of this. So what I do is toss the talisman. In my hand, I have 5 talismans that go along with the 5 elements. And I'm just going to randomly choose a talisman. Oh, we're going to choose this one here. I'm not sure which it is because I can't see past my blooming microphone. Right, so there we go. Move the microphone a little bit away from my mouth. So we've got the air elemental. So then, as always, what happens when we do a talisman toss is it's a bit like tossing a coin, except obviously we need to decide who is heads and who is tails. So LV, your question came in first. And LV, so you are going to be the sigil. Sorry, I keep smiling with the name LV. We've got a dog named LV. It stands for Louis Vuitton. Doesn't, but you know. So LV, you will be the air sigil, and Ultra Ego Wisdom, you will be the air writing, the back of the sigil, the back of the talisman. Sorry, I just had a slurp of coffee while that video was playing. It's repeating on me. So then LV is the sigil, Ultra Ego Wisdom is the writing, and as always we do it with the sigil up, and wherever it lands on the desk, that is what we go with. So then, fingers crossed, let's have a look. 1, 2, 3. There you go. It's LV. So LV, your question will be the next one that I read. Ultra Ego Wisdom, please do go ahead and select and copy your question for the next free round. Okay, so question, LV. What is my ex's Zorum? Is that the name of the ex? Okay, intention towards me, because he gives me a stare when he passes me by. Interesting. Right, so then let's do the cleanse, and we're bringing Wispy, the air elemental dragon. So then Wispy, LV's question is literally what is their ex's intention towards them, because Zorum, who is the ex, keeps staring at them when he passes by. So what is Zorum's intentions towards LV, because he keeps staring whenever he passes by? So then I'll do one more shuff round. 1, shuff 2, shuff 3, shuff 4. Maybe we should call that the doodahs. I don't know. Let's have a look. So then we'll do your cut, and let's have a look, LV. So with this one, we are going to go with where you are, what you need to know, and what the future opportunity is. It's become one of my go-to spreads now. Where you are, 10 of Pentacles reversed. Okay. What you need to know. Death doesn't mean death. Doesn't mean death. Wah, 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 wah. Hang on a second. I've got a thing for that. This does not mean what it says on the tin. This does not mean what it says on the tin. This does not mean impending death. Okay. Hopefully you're aware. This is not about death. I'll explain. And the future opportunity, Queen of Wands. Right, so let's go to this one first. What is Zorum's intentions towards you? We've got the 10 of Pentacles. Pentacles is where is work, career, finances, and things growing, growth in relationships and effort and all of that. That just definition of work, as opposed to where you go to earn some money to pay the bills. This is A, it's reversed, and B, it's overflowing, right? So when it's reversed in this sort of question, this is what Zorum, is wanting. The 10 is overflowing. So I think that they are trying really hard. They're putting in lots of effort to make you aware, right? So the fact that he's staring at you, he's doing it for a reason. I think he's doing it to unsettle you, right? That's what it feels like. It feels like the intention there is just, I would say, either he did something wrong in a relationship, or you dumped him because maybe you went and saw somebody better or somebody else. But it really does feel like he was the one that basically the relationship was ended. He was the one that you ended it, or if he ended it because, you know, it was your decision to kind of walk away, that sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? It feels like he was the one that got let go of in terms of the relationship because of the way it feels. And the 10, when it's overflowing, the 10 is almost all encompassing. So in terms of the pentacles, in terms of the amount of effort, it really does feel like he's purposely passing you by. This isn't something where it's like, oh, you just both happen to be at the local shops. No, this is like he's purposely walking past where you work or purposely walking past your house to have that moment where he goes, it walks past. I mean, gosh, I'm sneezing as well. I don't know whether this is hay fever or whether I've got a slight touch of a cold, but it feels almost like a bit of both. Anyway, you don't care about that. What you need to know, we've got the death and rebirth card, right? So this is the card of transformation. Now, this is a major arcana card. And when I pointed out earlier about, different cards, this is one of the classic ones, the death card. Now, everybody gets nervous because it says death on it. In the first deck, or my first deck that I used for over 20 years, or between 3 different versions of that deck, the name death in that card is actually renamed to transformation, because that is what this card is about. You can see here we've got a snake. Why is there a snake dealing with death? Obviously they're poisonous. That's what it means. No, it's because throughout its life, to enter the new chapter of its life, a snake has to shed its skin. The same with a butterfly here. Yes, the caterpillar dies, but it doesn't actually die. It just evolves into the caterpillar. You've got the different seasons of the moon. So we've got a new crescent moon here, and we've got a full moon, and we've got an eclipse depicted all in one little image. We've got the end of life, after the end of life with the bony, good old bony face. We've then got somebody who is approaching the end of life. We've got this couple here who are more middle-aged type, somewhere between childhood and old age. And then you've got the baby here, which is representing brand new life. And obviously you've got the full moon coming in as well. So you've got all of these elements about change and things moving on. And it really does feel what you need to know, move on. Listen, if he stares at you, just look away. If you don't want to be with Zoram, then don't look at him back. Literally, that's what it means, right? If he stares at you, walk away. If he turn the other side, turn around so he's staring at the back of your head. Whatever it is, do not let him make eye contact with you. And if you see him walking past, and he walks past 7 times in a day, he's just a bit of a sad sack, isn't he, really? And at that point, pay him no mind, because he will get bored. Obviously be sensible. If it looks like things are turning very, very nasty, then make the police aware, because if he's doing that a lot, it could come under stalking. So just be aware of that. I'm not saying he is doing that. I'm just saying be careful. But this is amazing. Your future opportunity, right? Your opportunity. So this is where you are. This is what you need to know. This is the future opportunity. This is very clear to me, right? With this transformational card, you become the Queen of Wands, right? You become that authority figure of your own life because you gain some confidence. And I think that above all else is what you need to find, is once you find this confidence where you can go on stage in a posh frock and sing all those Whitney Houston numbers, right? I'm not saying you have to do that, but when you find that confidence, it won't matter whether Zoran walks past and stares at you. It won't matter whether he, stands outside of your workplace every single day. If he does that, you're ringing the police and getting him done for stalking. Do you know what I mean? It won't matter, because no matter what he tries, you are just going to shine in your own way, in that spotlight where you feel super confident, super able to withstand anything, and able to stand there and just live your truth, right? And do whatever the hell you want to do, and you're not going to care about Zoram. Does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense. I don't think his intentions are particularly bad, but I do think if he's the spurned partner, which is what I'm guessing it is, then he's not going to want you to get to this point, right? So just a little heads up. As I say, if he does keep passing by, if it starts being more than just he's on his way to work every morning at 10 o'clock and he walks past the shop that you work in, or whatever it is, if it gets more than that, make a note of every time it happens. So if we walked past 3 times a day, write those down, keep track of it, because if it starts going a bit overboard or you start feeling a little bit worried or scared, then do contact the coppers or the police or whoever it is in your region. Contact the police and just say that this guy is kind of taking the piss. And hopefully, my darling, that helps. It really does feel, though, you just need to make sure that that chapter is closed, that ending is done, that book has been finished. You lay it down, you lay that to rest, and then you move on. You transform. You're no longer the caterpillar. You are now a butterfly. You've shed your skin like this snake, and there's no way that you could ever go back into that skin because it's too small. You just need to progress forward, my darling, and be the best bloody version of yourself that you can be. And with that, I hope that helps. I really do hope that helps. Remember the mundane before the magical. So if it does feel like he's spending a lot more time than usual, passing by and just being in your general vicinity, then again, make use of the authorities. And with that, I'm going to say thank you very much for your question, my darling. Right, let me come in to the live and let me swap over the cameras. There we go. Right then. So, yes, Truth. Thank you, my darling. Yeah, walk away. It makes sense. Thank you, my darling. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Right. You are enough. You are my next. You are my next reading. Hello to Patty in the live chat there in the comments. Good evening to you. Right then, Judy from You Are Not Enough 1111. We're going to come to your reading next, and what I will say, my darling, is I will do your reading straight after this.
Are you a fan of 80s horror but want something different? Do you like modern horror but the regular magazines leave you a bit cold? Are you a fan of that schlocky horror that no one else seems to talk about? Check out Necronomicon, the UK horror zine from Etsy.com. Just search for Necroneil.
Blue Chalice is a small business making crafty creations for the Witcher community. From jewellery to wall hangings, witch bells to altar tiles. Why not have a look at bluechalice.etsy.com. Oh, sorry. Yes, indeed. Do check out Blue Chalice. Right then, sorry about that. What do you need to know for May 2024? You are enough, our lovely Judy. Let's have a look and we'll do the cleansing. Oh, look at that. I need to move that again to there. There we go. Cleanse the space. And as always, oh no. That wasn't Wispy. That was Star Trek. Anyway, let's bring Wispy in. And Wispy, you are not enough. No, sorry, you are enough. 1111, our lovely Judy would like to know, what do they need to know for May 2024? What do they need to know for May 2024? We've had the 8 of Swords. So just checking that's only one coin. One card. We've had the 8 of Swords drop. So this is your clarifying card, okay? And when I talk about a clarifying card, it does exactly what it says on the tin. This card clarifies and modifies your explanation, your reading through this lens, right? So this is the lens we're looking through. So what is the 8 of Swords then? Well, the 8 of Swords is all about confidence. It's all about having blindfolds taken off, right? You can see here the swords are actually, in this case, they're scissors, and this scissor is cutting away this ribbon because the ribbon is binding all of these scissors together, so they cannot be what they are because they are being held back, right? Now, yes, Swords is all about challenges and is all about obstacles and things that are sent to really try your patience, if you like. But because of that, they are also, this is the hurdle you overcome, right? This is the mountain you've got to climb to get the view off the top of the peak. Do you know what I mean? This is the thing you've got to do to get that new sense of where your life is going and where you're heading. So it's not a negative, because the 8s are all about leading on to the 9. So the 8s are all about that continual journey. So just bear that in mind. I'm going to pop it just there so that we can keep it in view. There we go. I'll put it there like that. So then the 8, just be careful of that on there, Rufus. Hang on 1 second. Sorry, I'm back, everyone. Right then, so Rufus has just come in the room. Just I needed to tell him something. Well, anyway, that's fine. So Wispy, we're through that lens. So what are we looking at for May 2024? Here we go. Let's do your drop. Right then, Wispy. Let's go. And we're going with a... I tell you what, we'll go with the... Tell you what, we'll go with the standard. I'm just deciding, and Wispy's just giving me the idea. I think we're going with the standard, where you are, what you need to know, what the future outcome is, as an inverted V, right? So where you are, what you need to know, second time tonight, where you're headed, and then link these together. So, okay, right then, Judy. Oh, my darling. So it looks like May's going to be a bit shit, right? Let's not beat around the bush. It looks like May is going to be a bit of a sticky month for you. The reason I'm saying that is that every single one of these cards is reversed, apart from the root card, right? I'll go into it. So where you are right now, we've got the 7 of Wands. Wands is all about confidence and security and all of those lovely things. But 7s are about difficult decisions. And you've got here this difficult decision to talk about these different branches that are effectively the wands. One has been left with the, petals on, and has just been taped up because it looks a little bit poorly. It's got a worm or something growing up it. But anyway, 1 is now a flaming torch. 2 is a flaming torch. 3 of them are now flaming torches. This one's been turned into a spear or a spike. This one's just like a battering club. And this one is literally a baseball bat with nails poking through it, right? This is reversed. So this is saying that there are some issues coming up, some challenges are coming up that are around you right now, okay? And it feels like whatever you decide, however you decide to move forward in whatever the situation is, it feels like it's going into a shit situation. But this is through this 8 of Swords lens, right? So it's saying that actually, as you move forward, whatever this decision is going to be the right one, because this leads to you having your blinkers taken off. Your blindfold is removed, and you are then free to move forward and keep your journey going. Interesting. This is where you are with the 7, and the 8 is what you need to do to move forward. So that in itself is interesting, right? So I don't think this is going to be an easy month coming up, but it does feel like it's going to be a really important one. And one of those months when you look back in like 5 or 10 years time, you'll be like, oh my God, 2024 is when it all changed. That was when my life started to improve, but it took a while. So what you need to know, 4 of Pentacles reversed. There is stagnancy in your life in terms of whether this is career or money or just the way that you progress things through. There is a major thing in your life right here, look. And it's basically saying this is holding you back. This stability that we'd normally be talking about with this way round, this stability is stagnant. This is, stable, a stable pond. Lovely. A stagnant pond full of mosquitoes and flies and dead shit, right? That is what we're looking at. And so in what you need to know, I think you need to try and find a way of either avoiding this or making peace with the fact that May is going to be a really difficult month at work. It's going to be something where you're going to feel incredibly bored, like there's no moving forward. Everything is kind of just stuck, but you will get through that, okay? Because we've then got place marker coming up with Pentacles, which is the 5. And again, it is reversed. So again, this is not going to be an easy month for you, but again, it is going to be that time where you'll stop realize where you are, and then look for the next steps. It is reversed, which means this is going to feel like the sky is falling. It really is going to feel terrible. But once you're through May, once you're out the other side, you'll realize that this was just a milestone, right? It's not the be all and end all. May is not going to end anything in your life. You're not, this is not the end. This is just a stopgap. This is just a milestone that you need to get through and need to get past. And once you are past it, you'll look back and go, oh, that mountain was actually only a hill. It's just that I was feeling really crap. So it felt like a mountain. Do you know what I mean? That's what that is, my darling. So just bear that in mind. Now, when we go to the subconscious level, we've got more swords. So this is really screaming at there being a challenging month for you ahead, right? We've got the 9 of swords coming in, linking the 7 of wands to the 4. So this is linking that idea of there being some really difficult choices and with this stagnancy. So if you're really stuck at work, if there's no hope for a promotion where you are, or money's so tight, money's too hard to mention, as that song said back in those days. If we're at that point, it's the connection between them is there's more hurdles here, right? More challenges. But again, you can get through all of this because you do here, right? So this is whilst we're talking about all of this happening in May, this is where you get past and realize this is only a milestone. So at the worst moments this month coming up, right, at your very, very most awful, bloody moments, when that happens, you just remember, I will look back at this and I will get through. I would have got through it, because you are going to. So this is just saying, again, it's reversed. So again, it's saying, I think these issues are coming your way from somewhere else. I think this might be a time to really look at, what you need versus what you want in your life. I want to be a size 6. Not going to happen. What I need to do in my life is to lose some weight. What I want to do is to do it overnight and wake up as a svelte Disney princess. That's not going to happen. It's not going to happen in a million years, but that's what I want. And what I've got to learn is to pass the two. And I think this is something where you are. It's like these swords, these challenges, they are going to be massive, but you will get through that hurdle. You will get through that. And you've just got to kind of work out what it is that you want and what it is that you need, if that makes sense, and go after what you need this month, not necessarily what you want. I know that's going to sound really shit, but that's kind of, you need to really pare back, because I think that's what's going to get you through it, if that makes sense. There is the crosswords card. So the 2 of swords, for me, it's always about crosswords with somebody else. So I don't know whether you have a partner or whether you have, whether this is a boss or whatever it is, but there's definitely going to be a moment where you have a disagreement, right? And it's coming out of the blue. And again, it's not from you. You are not starting it. But afterwards, once this has happened, you will literally stand back and go, oh, bloody hell, Lisa was right. That's what it was. I've got no idea why that argument happened. I didn't start that. That was what Lisa was talking about. And that's literally what this is. And it's going to be linking this idea of you being really stagnant as the month goes on. And this is more towards the back end of May, where this conversation happens or this argument happens, and you will then get through, and it will help you look back at the fact that this is just a shit month and you just need to get past it, right? It will help you realize that, because you'll literally go, after the argument, you'll be going, oh, I don't know why you said all of that. I don't know why, I don't understand where that came from. And then your brain will go, oh, that's what Lisa said. Oh, I get it now. Right. That's the one that is it's just laying up the future, where you look at where your life is. Right. Okay. Let's not worry about it too much. Again, because all the way through this month, truths are being revealed. Now, truth is not comfortable. If you are not around people in your life that live their truth, right, that live their authenticity, if you are around a lot of people who are constantly kind of trying to put up that mask, trying to live that Instagram life where they are showing their best self all the time, eventually that mask slips. And that's when you see people's true self. So if you aren't around that and you're not giving that, then this month is going to be where all of those masks, all of those blindfolds, all of those blinkers, all of that bullshit comes down. And this is going to be where you experience authenticity in your relationships, in your own self, and with the people around you and work and everything. This is where all of that is going to start really hitting home this month. It's going to be a really interesting month. The root of it is the King of Cups. So I don't know whether you have a partner or a loving male figure in your life, but the King of Cups is an amazingly potent individual, because yes, they are the king, so they have lots of, you know, authority and sway. So this could be a boss, this could be a partner, something like that. But it also has this element of the king being the deciding the person, right? So the king decides. They are the final call. So this king, and it's somebody who could be a father figure, could possibly be a boss. I don't think it is, because it's cups. I think it's either a father figure around you, or somebody that has that sort of role in your life. It could be like a professor that you were really close to at school, or this could be a partner if you've got a male or a really masculine partner. It's a really interesting card to come up at the root, because it feels, with all of these reverse cards, none of this is necessarily coming from you, right? This is the only upright card. And so this is saying, I feel like all of this is coming from this King of Cups. And it is somebody who I would say that you love. Whether it's somebody who is a current partner or a previous partner, I don't know. It could be a father or father figure, but the more that this influence is influencing everything, the more that it's either going to be a current or previous partner, to be honest with you, is what I would say. You can see, like, the king is just sat on the end of the bed. So what's wrong with that, right? Just sat on one of these. What is possibly wrong with the king sitting on the ottoman at the end of the bed? Nothing wrong with that at all, is there? Nothing at all, except he's got his shoes off. So metaphorically, this is that sign that the king has got his feet under the table. He's got his shoes at the end of the bed, under the bed. He's taking the crown off. This is where the king is relaxed. He is very relaxed, being at the root of your reading. So he's very relaxed, sitting here, dictating your life, if you like, dictating where you head and what you do. My question is whether or not this king is the right king, right? Because the king is bringing these swords, this very tough decision about affecting your confidence. This king is bringing this vibe of being stagnant and this manky, moldy kind of stagnant, vile water, with this stagnancy, with the roots and everything. And also the fact that this is a milestone month for you. So my gut instinct is saying that this king is either an ex, or possibly, again, you make all your own decisions about your own life, but an ex, or possibly a soon to be ex, right? Because again, this is all coming through this idea of that blindfold being lifted this month, that truth coming out, those binds being lifted. It's like you're literally stepping out into the light after being in prison for 20 years. Do you know what I mean? It's like that sort of, this is that sort of card that comes up. Again, you make all your own decisions about your life. I'm not telling you to dump him or anything else. This is literally just saying, if this is what's been going on and this is similar to what's been happening, then I think truths are going to be revealed this month. I would take this card out and do you a past to future with this, but it isn't that. This is not a past to future, because none of this is your decision. This is all coming from that king's root. And for that, my darling, I would say you need to be really careful and really look at your life and what you want, because at the moment it feels like your whole life revolves around the king. And if that's true, then you've got to ask yourself, where are you in all of this? And especially if that is true, what's being revealed in May? It feels like it's a milestone. It feels like it's a really big month for you, my darling. I can't tell you what it is and what is happening, because that's not the way tarot works, but it really does feel like all of this will come to fruition next month. And I'm sorry that I can't go into more details with that. All I can say is what the cards give me. It does really feel, as I say, that you've got some Seven of Wands difficult decisions about you and your partner or family member, whoever that king relates to. But yeah, thank you very much for that, my darling Judy. And I'm going to swap the cameras to that one. And I am, oh God, it's why does that keep doing that? Do I keep moving it? I probably do, don't I? This is all the joy of ADHD. You see, once I move something, I'm then like, did I move that? Did I do that? I can't remember who that is. It's somebody. It's a thing, isn't it? Right then, let's have a look in the live comment section. The mods are asking Ria to not keep posting. So Ria, please don't keep posting. Thank you very much. Yes, your partner has been controlling with erratic behavior. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. You've been thinking about leaving. You're spot on. I'm so sorry, my darling. I am so sorry that you're going through that. That's the King of Cups. That's what they do, unfortunately. If not everything is going their way, they try and nudge things their way. Ed's here. Oh no. Hello. We'll be with you properly in about half an hour. Okay, Ed, my darling. Here we go. Judy, totally resonates, Lisa. Wow. You're describing your partner. Okay. Therapy isn't working for him. Oh, my darling, I'm so sorry that you're going through this. It really does feel like you really understand what that reading was. In my empathic core, I was like, oh, please let this be making sense. I don't want you to not realize that the king is perhaps not necessarily, as great as you thought. I hate it sometimes. I reveal things in tarot and it's like, oh, I had no idea about that. I got the impression that, yeah, you would know what I'm talking about with these cards, certainly. Wisdom gained through challenges. That's the only way we learn. That's the only way we learn. If from the minute we were born, if everything was easy and we just, we never fell over when we first stood up, when we first jumped on a push bike, we just, started doing mountain biking. If the first time you learned to roller skate, you didn't end up, with at least a few scratches and scrapes, then you wouldn't learn. You wouldn't have any awareness about how dangerous some things are. There's a lot of things in life that we can ignore until it becomes too big a thing to ignore. Do you know what I mean? It's like the elephant in the room, as they say. It's like sometimes you can overlook certain behaviors until it gets to be such an annoyance that you can't overlook that anymore and it needs to be addressed. And then how we do that is the biggest question in life, isn't it? So you feel like you need to cut a few necessary things out of your life with all the swords and scissors. What was I saying? Wasn't I saying something about between what you want and what you need? Yes. Sorry. Again, if you're regular here, you'll understand as soon as I've done a reading, it starts to fade from my mind, even if I'm still talking about it. And all I can do is honest. That is why the channel is called Beyond Authentic, because I try and be as authentic as possible. But yes, thank you very much for that. I hope it helps, my darling. You know where we are. Come back and let us know how things progress. But I hope everything goes okay for you. And as I say, just be careful, but you will get through this. As I say, you'll look back at May in a few months' time as being that milestone in your life. You really, really, really will. Who was this? Hang on, I just saw a new person. Janice Caff. Hello, Janice. Oh, Janice, long time no see. Long time no see. I hope you are well. Judy, it's okay, Lisa. I've learned a lot from my situation. You're much stronger now. Bless you, my darling. Bless you. Oh, Janice, you've just posted. Oh, thank you, my darling. You've just posted a doodah, a super chat. My brain is not braining very brainy, is it? So I'll tell you what I'll do, my darling. Ria, I've got Janice next. because Janice has sent a super chat. The only way, my darling, that you're able to be guaranteed to be next is to send a super chat of your own. Otherwise, you just need to bear with until everybody sent their super chats, and then I will go ahead and open up another free round. Okay, so just bear with us while we do all of the super chats. And again, as what? Janice, we worked at the same place many years ago. Did we? Me and you? Did we? Did we? You're going to have to say where it is, but I don't necessarily want you to say where it is. As long as you're not mentioning that whorehouse that I was the madam of that time, called the Chicken Ranch, when I was, in fact, Dolly Parton in the film. Yeah, as long as you're not thinking about that. Where did we work then, Janice? Where did we work? Many years ago. I don't know. Let me think. Janice. Oh, the person you're asking for. Right. Okay. I was just thinking, I've had so many jobs over the years. Again, that's what happens. I've had so many jobs over the years. I was like, are there any of them that I remember a Janice being from? And if so, are there any that I don't necessarily want talked about on a live stream? I don't think so. But anyway, oh, thank you, Judy. Yes, right. I did get scared because I was like, when do people know me from and where? Because I have done many. So most people with ADHD, if you're not diagnosed very much, most people with late diagnosis or whatever else will find that they can't stick at jobs very well because they get bored. And not only do we get bored, we kind of, once we've learned the grasp of something, we kind of want to move on to the next thing. And so for me, there was a period in my life where if I held a job for a year, that was a major achievement. And I would also move house every 6 months. So, because I just get bored. So, yeah. So it was a bit of a freak out. But anyway, right. Let's have a look at your question. So the question is, you worked at the same place many years ago. Right. Oh, I've got a gut instinct for you. I think you need to reach out to Oscar. I tell you what I'm going to do is I will hit this magic button and I will, in fact, do your reading straight after this. I need to change the camera and everything. So I will be reading for you in a few seconds' time. Hang on. Yep. Hold that thought.
YouTube tarot reader Lisa Lee has been found using bad language during her twice-weekly live streams. In a shocking turn of events, it has also been discovered that she will not tell you what you want to hear, only what you need to know. The internet is in collective shock that authenticity is alive and well in this corner of the YouTube meta space. Do not watch if you are easily offended.
Okay, there we go. What? See, I don't think I moved it. Right, there we go. I'm not going to move the camera in any way. So let me just see. See, that looks perfectly fine from that angle. So I don't need to move it anymore. But every single time, it's going to shift. Is it? I mean, it's fine. We're just going to go with it. Regular viewers here will know I can never, ever, ever make this second camera work so that I'm always happy with it. I want it to be much lower so it's zoomed in more, but if I do that, then the camera, it's in view of the camera. If I bring it in so it's under the camera, I can't see my screen. So, right, let's go into the space. I know, right? The trials and tribulations of a YouTuber. It's a bit like the trials and tribulations of a she-devil, if you know that film or series from back in the day. I mean, I'm saying nothing now. I'm saying nothing. I'm just old. We've had a card jump. I almost didn't take that because I was too busy gassing. But look, we had a card jump. We've got the tower reversed. So then, Janice, what does the tower mean? Well, the tower is a card that is all about things coming apart at the seams, basically. Oh no, it's not the tower. It's the bloody hermit. How could I see that as the tower? What? Sorry, you've got the hermit reversed. How could I see that as the tower? That is bonkers. Right, the tower, the hermit. The hermit is about, as you can see on screen, there's a person who is a bit getting on of age, right? And they're carrying a torch into a cave or around a cave. Now, in this instance, you can see we've got this older person with the torch, but the torch is ethereal. The torch is knowledge. And what the hermit represents, rather than it being, I'm going to go and live in a cage for 40 years, it represents that search for knowledge that goes above and beyond everything else. Okay, you want to know the facts, you want to gain that wisdom from being outside of the general hubble and bubble and toil and trouble of society. You want to be outside of that, and you want to be learning about the important things, so much so that when it's needed, your lantern of knowledge becomes ethereal rather than a physical object, but that will keep you warm and that will keep you lit, if that makes sense. That is your modifying or clarifying card. And so this is telling us that actually there's a lot happening. Now it is reversed. So the hermit reversed is one of two things. Either we're looking at a situation where somebody has stepped back and doesn't want that knowledge, or that this hermit is not necessarily representing your journey. The fact that you're asking about Oscar and what Oscar's likely to do is leading me to say that maybe this is the hermit from Oscar's perspective. If that is true, then the other side of the hermit, let us not forget, is actually the fact that the hermit spends a lot of time alone. Oh, hang on. Okay. Can you see what's just happened? We've got a card. That card fell, but then stopped. And although these are piled up on top, they're not dropping, even though I'm giving it a good old shake. So this is your cut. That card was determined not to come up. Okay, I've had a look at it. That's interesting. So that card's now on the bottom of the deck. So then, that was interesting. That's an interesting drop. Thank you, Wispy. So we're bringing in Wispy. We've cleansed the space. Is Oscar going to make a move towards you? Let's have a look. We're going with the... I guess this is all about relationship, isn't it? This is all about the relationship. So we'll go with, again, what Oscar wants, what you want, and where the relationship could go in the future. So let's have a look. What Oscar wants. Oh, okay. Major Arcana, the moon. We've got what you want. I've turned into a Skeksis. Sorry. The King of Cups. A strong, manly, authoritative kind of king, but with that love energy coming through. A little bit different to the other reading when the King of Cups arrived, wasn't it? And the future opportunity. Oh, the Knight of Pentacles. Okay. Interesting, considering you used to work together. Connecting the two. Wow, another major card. Connecting the moon and the king. So what you want and what Oscar wants is the world reversed. Connecting what you want and the future is the Queen of Wands. That's interesting. And then connecting everything, the very base of all of this, of what Oscar is thinking and where we're going, the Hierophant. So you've got 4 major arcana cards out of 8 in total. So this is going to be a more important reading than perhaps you would have thought. So let me go through it. The moon, first of all. What does the moon entail? Well, apart from in a lot of decks, you can see, you know, a dog or a coyote and a wolf and all these other animals howling at the moon. In this perspective, you've got this idea of kind of going to natural places, staring at the moon, looking at astrology, looking at the full moon, having that spiritual connection, all of those things. So there is a certain amount of that. There's also, though, a certain amount of kind of inward looking that, if it goes on too much, can almost come across as navel gazing. Do you know what I mean? So this is somebody, this is what Oscar wants. He's taken quite a bit of time to work this out. Okay, the full moon is here. How many full moons, how many moons has it been that Oscar's needed to work this out? Do you know what I mean? It's a really interesting kind of depiction of the moon. You can see here we've got various green fairy lights happening. We've got stones and things going on in the foreground. It's a very spiritually intense card. It also denotes a longer period of time. So what Oscar is wanting, it feels like he's taking a lot of thought and a lot of time to work out his feelings and his emotions, which is great in one aspect, but that isn't necessarily a go-getting kind of, I'm going to go and ask you out. It feels like Oscar's quite thoughtful, quite takes a while to make a decision, but when that decision is made, it's all been thought through and planned and worked out. Does that make sense? It's not kind of a let's go, which is interesting for what this card is. Seeing what you want in a relationship, King of Cups, you want a loving partner who is going to maybe take the lead in some decisions, in some ways, not necessarily be, you know, deeply kind of in control and controlling, but somebody's going to take the lead, allow you to be the queen and he's going to be the king, and then away you go. That doesn't necessarily happen in a lot of relationships, but this is saying that what you want that loving person who is going to be able to do all of the things, and in the bedroom do all of the things, but also to look after you and have that feeling of safety and security that the kings, when they're in their upright aspect, that's what they can bring. In terms of where the relationship may be headed, we do have a knight. So there is this element of, do you know here where I said that maybe things weren't going to be happening super quick because they're quite thought out and planned? This Knight of Pentacles, this is actually telling us that maybe it's you that needs to take this action to move things along a little bit, because it does feel like they need a bit of a kick. And this Knight of Pentacles kind of feels like that's what the Knight is going to do, because the Knights always act first and think later. And when it comes to Pentacles, yes, it's about work, career, finances, which ties in with this being somebody you used to work with, but it also comes in that aspect of waiting for things to grow, and the amount of, you know, planting seeds for long-term bonus. That is also what the Pentacles represent. So it does feel like there's a connection here that is worth pursuing. When we look at the next level, so this is kind of done under the surface and what is linking things. What is linking what you want and what Oscar wants and what you want. We've got the world, but the world here is reversed, which means there may be a different idea of what relationships are between, you know, from you to Oscar. So maybe there's a different kind of hymn book going on. So you're both singing the same hymn. It's just that Oscar's got maybe, you know, original wording and you've got more modern wording, and so there'll be slight differences, but you're basically saying the same thing, if that makes sense. Now the world is another one of these ones, so it is another major card. There you go. Sorry, I forgot to hit that one. The world is also a portal, saying that you can step through this portal right into a new world. In this deck, I mean, forget the fact it looks a bit like me with my clothes off. In this deck, you've got, instead of it being a wreath, you've got the Ouroboros. So this is the end of a cycle, this continuing cycle. The snake eating itself is that continuing cycle of life. You've got this element where you can step through this portal into the world of your making. However, it is reversed. So maybe that is the portal that you know, we have to wait for Oscar to make that step. I don't think we do. I honestly don't think we do. I think it's something that you need to do, because the Queen of Wands is confidence. And again, this came up earlier in a reading as well. So this is going between what you want in a relationship and where it's headed. Now, I did say the king, you want this dynamic king. Oscar may be a bit more thoughtful and drawn out. This is the card that gets things sort of moving. The knights are the ones that react and go off and do the things. The The Queen of Wands here, this confidence card, is basically saying, look, if you want this king, you are going to have to be the one to kick this relationship forward. You're going to have to find that confidence, and you're the one that is going to have to reach out, because when we come to the very root of it all, we've got the Hierophant. The Hierophant is a bloody amazing card, right? Absolutely amazing. It's like you've got the High Priestess. This is like the male version of the High Priestess, right? So it's the High Pope. It's the teacher card, the guru card. This is the one who is able to basically make all of those big decisions in life, act as the guru, act as the leader, but it's reversed. So they're spending too much time in their own heads. So literally, Oscar is getting in touch with their emotions, and it's delaying moving forward in the world, leading to lots of book knowledge, if you like, lots of learning, lots of discoveries, but not a lot of action. The Hierophant is great. If you want to go and know what the radiation particle quotient of the average hydrogen atom is, hopefully those words make sense. I don't know science. But if you want to go and learn that, go and ask the Hierophant, right? If you want to know what herbs you can use to make a poultice to deal with, I don't know, venom bites, like venomous snake bites, go and ask your Hierophant. They're not going to have a good bedside manner. They'll give you the details. They're not there to be the nurse. They're not there to be the doctor. They're there to go. It's almost like they are the pharmacist. They're the apothecarist. They give you the information. You go and have to do it and look after the person, right? So that is what this is saying. Now, if we do take this out of the equation and we go from it meaning the things to it being a past present reading, we've got the past, lots of thoughtfulness, not a lot of action, spiritual connection, yes, but leading to no movement, no major changes in the world, because we've got the Hierophant sticking there. So then we move into the forward of what we want to happen. Well, the Hierophant has the knowledge. You've now got this knowledge from a friend. So you've got this knowledge now. You are aware of what the situation is. So you need to put your glam rags on, right? And be bold and loving and nurturing and all the things that the Queen of Wands is. Have that confidence and basically make that first move so you can make that step forward into growth. Okay. And all of that will probably find that the Hermit, this person who was in your life before but hasn't been, kind of will do a little bit of this and a little bit of this, and will magically go from Hermit into your king. And hopefully, my darling, that makes sense. Just get out there and give it a bit of a kick. Do you know what I mean? If it don't work, turn it off, on and off again. If it ain't moving, give it a kick. Sage words of wisdom there from the Hermit and the Hierophant, and I hope that that helps, my darling. I really, really, honestly do. I really do. Because again, we're still waiting for the first to be on Beyond Authentic Wedding. We want the wedding that has come about because of somebody's reading on this channel. That is what we are looking for, Janice. We are looking for this relationship that starts with a reading, ends with a wedding, so we can be on Zoom with our posh hats and everything on. That is what we are looking for, and we haven't had it yet. So I do hope that that helps. Yes, you need to be the one to make the first move. Yep. Let me have a look. Right, okay, hang on. I'm looking for where you are. I know he wouldn't just ask someone to go on a date. In that sense, he's kind of shy. Yep, that could be a problem because he's a Taurus and has a beautiful relationship with his family. So he might want to have kids, but you definitely don't want to have kids. But let's see what he wants. Okay. You are the one who has to make the first move. Yes, you absolutely are. Oh, thank you, my darling. Thank you, my darling. I am very good at this. I don't say that about a lot of things that I do in my life. In fact, I think tarot is one of the very, very few things that I acknowledge my ability. And I'm not saying that because I'm big-headed. I'm saying it because I've done it for 29 years. And after a while, it becomes something that you are. I am a tarot reader. It's not something I do. Do you know what I mean? Like, I do read tarot but what I am at heart is a tarot reader. If that makes sense. There's a difference. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, I hope that helps. Don't forget, everybody, if you would like to guarantee your reading, not only do you get a longer reading, good evening to Ed, not only do you get a longer reading, but also it means you are next. And don't forget, 10% of any money that I make here from the YouTubes, once YouTube's taken its massive cut, any money I make goes directly between the two 10% goes to each of the two bladder cancer charities that I make. I've just read make somewhere on the, hang on. I just read the word make and then I said the word make. This is exactly how my ADHD brain works. So what I was trying to say is anybody who makes a donation, once YouTube takes its cut and the taxes and everything else come out of it, what is left, I donate 10% to Fight Bladder Cancer UK and 10% to Bladder Cancer UK, which are the two bladder cancer charities that helped me out when I was dealing with cancer over the last couple of years. So yes, thank you very much to everybody who donates. I do have the first year's donations are going to be going off. Basically, I think it might even be tomorrow at this rate, that they'll be going off, because I've got all of the payments in from the Google, the head company that owns YouTube. So that is about to happen. So we'll find out all the amounts probably on the next stream, which will be Sunday. Probably be Sunday. I'm just waiting for the last one to come through. But yes, thank you very much. Right then, let's have a look at where we are on the stream. It is 8:28. Let's see, could we have a little bit of a like spike, please? Could you make me very happy with some applause, and hit that like spike? We would love that. That would be amazing. Thank you very much. All of the applause, hit that like button. Yay, like button. Yay, thank you very much. Yes, thank you, your majesties. Thank you, the gods and goddesses. Thank you, the deities. Oh, it stopped. Yes. But yeah, go ahead and hit that like button if you haven't already. Also, you may well see we're not talking about memberships in this particular video, because memberships are changing on this channel. By the end of the month, I am officially launching YouTube memberships, and we will be holding the Buy Me a Coffee space open for the next couple of months. But basically, if you would like to become a member as of a week today, that will all be officially launching for the 1st of May, basically. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Right then, let's have a look. If you would like, oh, hang on. Good evening to Belinda Jane Harris. Hello, my darling. How are you? Haven't seen you for a little while. Right, we are now going to, what am I doing? I'm pressing all the buttons. What? Should we just press some more buttons? Hang on. How about this? That's what I need every time my ADHD brain does a mess up like it just did. Anyway, it is time. Let's have another round. Go ahead. We'll open up another round. The next round is officially open. So if you would like a question, go ahead, pop your question into the live chat, starting with the word question. I will then go through those and pick one at random. If, however, you want to guarantee that you are up next, you can also go ahead and send it as a super chat. That will guarantee that the question comes through to me in a separate form, in a separate manner. So it basically queue jumps you to the very front of the list. If we get more than one super chat in, then I will read them in the order that they came in. If we don't get any super chats, I'll read the free reading ones. And all you got to do is make sure you put question at the front of your questions. I won't pick them if that isn't there, because otherwise it means going through many comments. So that's what you need to do. Go ahead, and I give you about a minute.
super strong connection here. Right. Oh my God!
Okay, right then, let me have a look in the comment section. First of all, let me take that banner off because that's going to get annoying. Right then, so it looks like I've got oh, Ria, please don't spam the chat. It's okay, my darling. You say you didn't know. Okay, please don't spam the chat. So once again, we've got 2 questions in. Is that right? Yes, 2 questions in. So I've got Belinda Jane Harris and, oh, hang on. And where's the other one gone? There it is, Ria Sandilia. Sandilia. So what we do when we have 2 questions in is we go for one of, hang on. There we go. We go for one of these. If I can find the button. There we go. It's time again, the second time tonight. We are going to toss the talisman. Sounds much ruder, doesn't it, than it actually is? I know. So there's one between my fingers. There we go. So the last one we had was air. This one is the water talisman. The element that links in with emotions and going with the flow and all of that. So then when we toss the talisman on this channel, what we do, it's like tossing a coin, except for the fact instead of heads and tails, we've got sigil and writing. Okay, so Ria, you're looking for the sigil to come up, the little sign for water, which is the inverted triangle. In this case, it's got the water waves behind it and the splashes. And Belinda Jane Harris, you are wanting the Witch Casket logo and the word water to come up. Okay, so then, as always, we toss it talisman side or sigil side up, and whichever one comes up on the toss gets the reading. There we go. So we had heads last time. This time we've got tails, or the writing side. So that means Belinda Jane Harris, your question is up. So Ria, do me a favor, select and copy your question and get ready to pop it in again once I open up another free round. So then I've just got to say one thing. Computer, YouTube fan on. Right then, so we cleanse the space. Sorry, I turned the fan off earlier and I'm warm now. Cleanse the space and we bring in the lovely Wispy. So once again, if you are new to the channel, if you don't know what I'm talking about, well, I'm talking about my dragon Wispy, have a look in the comment section, the description section of this very video. Just down there where there's a page break, you will see that it says a link to talk about all of my dragons, what are servitors, egregores and tulpas. Click on that. There's a whole podcast episode that me and Neil filmed all about that, what my dragons are, how they were created, and a bit of information. So it goes into quite a bit of detail. Doesn't tell you every step of how I made them, but yeah, go and have a look. Right then, Belinda, let's have a look. Wispy, Belinda Jane Harris would like to know, will Mum's house sell soon? So we're looking for a fairly straightforward idea. Will Belinda Jane Harris's Mum's house sell soon? That's what we want to know. I've got blooming cards flying everywhere at this rate because my hands are starting to get tired. Right, one more shop round, or one more doodah. 1, 2. I thought a card jumped then. 3. Wasn't face up. And 4. Do one more just because that didn't shuffle in very well. There we go. So Wispy, will Belinda Jane Harris's Mum's house sell soon? Let's have a look. So we're going to do a very quick, very simple past, present and future. Oh, my darling. I don't think so. It's the short answer. I'll tell you why. Past, King of Pentacles. So I think this is money being laid out on the house. So I don't know whether you've had to get things sorted or whether there was money that you've had to spend getting the house ready, doing the paperwork, doing the lawyer stuff. I don't know what it costs to sell a house, but this is that. And this is talking about there being a fair bit of money tied up in the house. I don't just mean like in the house itself, like, because it's there. It's like, I don't just mean the house is worth X £1,000 and that's tied up in it. I mean, it feels like you've put money into getting the house ready to sell, if that makes sense. Because of the King of Pentacles, it's always the king is in his counting house, counting out his money. So there's a lot of financial connection here. And it's a recent, it feels like it's a recent expense. So it is very much like, I don't know. I know that when my mum and dad separated, the house that I'd grown up in, like eventually dad left that house as well, but like it hadn't been decorated for many years. So the bedrooms were still teenage bedrooms. Do you know what I mean? That me and my sister, my sibling had. So we still had those teenage, you know, you've turned 13, now you get to choose a teenage grown-up bedroom, and off comes all the pretty sort of young wallpaper, and all of a sudden you get, you know, the blacks and the whites and the reds and the greys, and it was the 80s, so everybody had that. And like the royal blues, you had those sort of colors coming through, and reds, rather than it being pastels, which is what everybody had before. So if you imagine it going from sort of, if you imagine it going from Care Bears, right, to almost young adult, you know, going off and living a world, it's that kind of transitional space. So I don't know whether you had to redecorate and bring things up to date and put a new kitchen in, or, you know, take out a carpet and all of those things. That's what it feels like with this in the past position, if that makes sense. The Three of Swords. Now this is the heartbreak card, or this is the repairing the heartbreak card. I think this is a fucking tough thing for you to do, right? I think this is a really tough thing for you to do. And what this is saying, it's not just because of the connections you've got with the house, or the connections you've got with your mum's passing and all of that tied in. It's also talking about the fact that you kind of want this over with. And this repairing, it's like the longer the house is sat with you, the harder it is to move on, because you're constantly being reminded of this thing from your mum's life that you need to sort of, it needs to be moved on. Oh, excuse me. Does that make sense? Because it really does feel like constantly having to go over there, or constantly having to deal with it every time, it brings back all of those emotions. So although your heart is healing, it really does feel like there's a lot else happening, that is not just, okay, we need rid of the house to get the money back. It's like there's a lot more to it than that, a lot more to it. In the future, we've got the Nine of Cups reversed. So bearing in mind, I only see 6 weeks, 2 months in. I don't know whether this is, so let me explain. Nine of Cups is all about emotion, right? So the nine is emotions. Sorry, the cups is emotions. The cups is full of normally positive emotions. This is reversed, so it will be indicating some sadness. The nine is when something is full. Okay, so 10 is overflowing, 9 is full. And you can see here, we've got the Nine of Cups. We've got 9 different vessels of water. We've got the victory wreath because we're winning, but this card is reversed, so it's talking about sadness. So it does feel like in the next couple of months, that sadness is going to potentially intensify. Now, I'm going to clarify this card with the vice versa deck, right? Because this came up reversed. So this could either be that the sadness here is because the house isn't selling, or because we've got this Three of Swords in play, it could actually be that the sadness is because the house does sell, right? And although, hurrah, it's the end of a chapter, you know, you're able to move on with your life. You've got the money back from the investment that you've had to put in to make the house sellable, all of that stuff. You're then shot of the house, at which point that last link comes in. So I don't know whether this Nine of Cups is because of the emotion that the house is sold, and, you know, now that's the last link gone, or whether it's because you're getting pissed off and fed up and the house still hasn't sold. Let me ask, we're going to bring Wispy in once more. Wispy, I've got the vice versa deck. We need to clarify this Nine of Cups, right? We're asking about Belinda Jane Harris's mum's house. Will the house sell soon? And we've got the Nine of Cups. Let me clarify what this card is, please. I'm pulling 3 cards for this 9. Right then. Here we go. We've got, oh, Judgment. Okay. We've got the 6 of Swords. And we've got the 10 of Swords. Right. Okay. What? Okay. Hang on. Let me just move. I'm moving that so I can see the cards. So Judgment. It is a major arcana card. So let me show you what it standard sort of depiction of Judgment is the angel calling forth the souls to heaven. So this way round is one aspect of that, but here we've got, this is the angel calling the souls to heaven. So this is saying that there is, I do think the house is going to sell within the next, certainly this year, and certainly I kind of want to say in the summer or just before the summer. I don't know why. I think it's because I'm seeing this cracked earth and that's radiant sunlight coming through with this card. It really does feel like it's summertime, like this is a summer moment. So I do think it's going to sell, and I think this sadness is what happens once it's sold, because you've got the 6 of Swords, right? 6 of Swords, normally you see the 6 of Swords like this, where it looks like the swords are in the boat. In this deck, the 6 of Swords, you can clearly see that the swords are actually attached. I don't know if you can see there. They are attached to the boat. Look at those. So you are choosing to take these forward. Can you see just here where the straps are? So you're choosing to take this forward with you, right? So there is something here about challenges and trials that you are choosing to move on with. So I think, again, this could well be looking at those sensations of loss after the house is sold, right? And what happens next, because you've also got the 10 of Swords. 10, again, Swords is challenge and trials and tribulations and all of that stuff. The 10 of Swords is when it's overflowing. So it feels like there is going to be a real heartache for you and a real pull once that house is actually gone and everything is done and dusted. It feels like in some way that's your last connection, if that makes sense. And what you do after that is going to be down to you, my darling. It is that final learning curve, right? There is still a part of me that when I dream of the 2 houses I grew up in, from, you know, being 5 or 6 to, you know, 18, 20. I lived in 2 houses with family, and those 2 houses still appear in my dreams on such a regular basis. If I'm going home, one of those 2 houses is where it is, if that makes sense, with some like modern stuff from where we are now. It's very, very surreal, but this is saying that final link, that final separation with the bricks and mortar house is going to be a bit of an upheaval for you. It really is going to feel a lot, because again, it's that ending, right? This is where the sadness comes in. This is why I needed this clarifying. This is going to feel so sad that yes, the house is gone, but you then have to be prepared for the feelings that now your mum is definitely gone, right? And that is an incredibly tough thing to go through, to be fair. It really is. It really is. And yeah, it's can be heartbreaking. Even many years on, it can be heartbreaking. And I think that's where these sword cards are coming in. So, my darling, I would say at least during summer months it will go, if not sooner. And yeah, be prepared for this when it happens, because it will come as a gut wrench, and all of the emotions of loss will come back up again. So just be aware of that, my darling. And once again, sorry, I'm getting a bit emotional. Once again, thanks very much for your question, and thank you for being here, my darling. And yes, thank you very much for your question. Yeah, so it was the 8-year anniversary of mum passing very recently, last week. So that's why I'm a wee bit, that just hit me a little bit then, but it's fine. It's all good. And yeah, Belinda, Jane Harris, I really hope that helps. Thank you very much for your question. Right, let me have a look in the comment section. Let me have a look. Oh, hang on. You're a Pisces. Okay. Oh, water. Ah, there you are. Yep. It's been 8 years for me, my darling, and on the anniversary I kind of knew, but I'd kind of forgot, but I knew, if that makes sense. And all the way through it was a bit difficult. Yes. Thank you ever so much, everybody. That is going to be the last of the super chats now. So if anybody wants a reading, we've got one space for a free reading up now. So if you would like a reading, please, for the last time tonight, go ahead and put your question into the live chat, starting with the word question, and I will pick one of those at random. It is now, we've got 10, 13, 14 minutes left. So if you would like a reading, go ahead, put your question into the live chat, and yeah, we'll see who gets the final reading. Yes, indeed. Good evening. Right then, let's have a look at the comment section. I've got one question in. So, Ria, you are the very last person tonight, and you have your question. Let me have a look. Oh my God, what does that say? Will I be able to secure MBBS seat in 2025? Right. Okay. So you've got a completely blank slate from me here, because I've got no idea what an MBBS seat is. So we're just going to ask Wispy to clarify. So then, Wispy, let me. Oh, hang on, I'm on the wrong camera, aren't I? There we go. That helps. So then, Wispy, let's go ahead first of all and cleanse the space a little bit more, because my emotions. Hang on a sec. My emotions are riding. I'll tell you what. Go ahead and dong that bell. Right then, Wispy, we're bringing you in. Wispy, Ria Sandelia would like to know, or Ria Sandelia would like to know, will they be able to secure an MBBS seat next year? So are they going to get a seat in MBBS? Are they going to get a secure MBBS seat next year? Let's have a look at that for you. So then, Ria, let's have a look. I don't know what an MBBS seat is, but obviously it's something very important to you, my darling. You've been asking the same question all evening, so thank you for sticking around right until the end. And let's have a look. So then, Wispy, let's have a look. Are we going to get a secure MBBS seat for Ria in 2025? There's your drop, there's your cut, and let's go for it. So we'll go with where you are, what you need to know, and what your future opportunity is. Ooh, right. Where you are now. Thank you, Holland. Holland says an MBBS seat is a place on a medical doodah thing, medical exam. So that's cool. That's a very cool thing. Are you going to get a seat in the exam? Is that what you mean? Yeah. So in the where you are right now, 4 Pentacles reverse. So the 4 Pentacles is talking about, the fours are about stability, things moving on. But when it's reversed, it's talking about a certain stagnancy, right? So again, I've covered it earlier. The Pentacles is about money, career, finances, and study. So I think where you are right now, I think you're like plodding. I think you feel a bit stuck right now in terms of the study, in terms of your future. It doesn't feel like anything's happening, like anything's moving. It kind of feels like everything is just Groundhog Day. You're doing the same thing day after day after day after day, and it doesn't feel like you're moving towards that space anyway quick. I've got to say, hang on in there, because the rest of the cards have got a different story. So although this feels at the moment like you might not be getting anywhere and you're just kind of stuck and being held back in a way, hold on, because there's better cards to come. Okay, so that's where we are. That's where you are. What you need to know, you've got the King of Pentacles. So I don't know whether there is a financial element here, or whether this King of Pentacles is talking about your tutor or your teacher, whatever the person teaching you is, because this is in the what you need to know, right? There's something here, either it's going to cost some more money, or you need to go and see whoever the tutor is and see if you can, if they think you're going to get onto this exam, onto this seat. If not, maybe speak to them and say, look, you're a bit worried. What can you do to increase your chances, right? What can you do to get a higher score? What can you do to get extra credit? I don't know. What is it that is there anything you could possibly do to make it more likely, more in your favor? Okay, that's coming up in the what you need to know. I think you really do need to ask this question. What is the financial drain going to be? In other words, how much money will the course cost? Have you got that money? Is there an unexpected expense involved there? Because this is coming up in the what you need to know. Or is this literally about you need to study a bit more, get a bit more, knowledge in this area or that area? And that would come from the King as well. And then finally, in the future position, we've got the Eight of Pentacles. Again, three Pentacle cards coming up one after the other. So this is all about your work, your career, your finances, your study, right? The Eight of Pentacles is a really good card. If I had to say right now, I would say this card is indicating that you're going to have to work your nails to the bone. You're going to have to burn that candle at both ends. But this card is about the journey to the 9. This card is about finishing the story. This card is about getting what you want, right? And I can't see very clearly into next year, but what I can see is that this card is very, very clear that you are going to be given that opportunity to take the next step to the 9. And if that course is what you have dreamed of, if that course is your pinnacle, that's kind of what you need to do for the rest of your life to make sense and how you see it. This card is saying you're going to have that opportunity. It is going to take, though, a bucket load of work. It really is going to take a bucket load of work, because the Eight of Pentacles in other decks will show, candles burning at both ends. It will show that the work never ends. So this is literally saying you are going to have to study and work and study and work, whether that is to increase your grade or increase your chances, or whether that is just to make sure that, you've got that knowledge base for when you do the exam. It all goes really, really super great. I do see this being as things are going to move forward for next year for you. Things are going to get better. It's going to take a lot of work, but things are going to give you the opportunity to take that journey onwards, because the 8s are all about getting ready for the journey to the 9, stepping up, stepping through, stepping out, whatever it is, taking that next step to the 9. So what I would say, my darling, all 3 cards are Pentacles. So work, career, finance, and study. All 3 cards are telling a very specific story here. Bit of stagnancy, bit of concern in the here and now. What you need to know is all about a teacher or tutor or somebody else that's got some decision making. So maybe now, before it's too late, ask if you need to do anything to lift your grade, lift your game, lift your chances of getting into that seat. And then the Eight of Pentacles is, once you know that from this person where we're headed, then you've got that work to put in. But this is the continuing journey. It's not the end. So I honestly believe that you will get that seat. It's just going to take some work. And with that, my darling, I do have to say, by the way, it's all for entertainment purposes only. You do make all your own decisions about your own life. So if you decide not to go and speak to the student manager, body, tutor, whoever, if you decide not to do that, then that's your choice. If you decide at the last minute you don't want that seat after all, you're going to go and be an architect or an astrologist or whatever, then you go for it. It's your choice. But right here, right now, it does feel really positive. And that, my darling, is that. So thank you very much for that question. And I'm glad that I got the opportunity to answer it for you. So thank you for persevering right until the end of the stream. That was really, really kind of you. So that is it, everybody. Thank you so much for being here tonight. I've got to say, I really enjoy the Tuesday streams. They do feel a little more chill for some reason than the Sunday ones. So yes, if you don't know, I also stream on a Sunday evening, 7 p.m. UK time. 6 p.m. we go live with our members only live stream. Last week we did a really interesting Q&A actually on the members only. So yes, if you want to be part of the memberships, I will be opening YouTube memberships very, very, very soon. So just hold off a week and I'll explain how you can become a member on the channel next week. But that is it from me, everybody. Thank you so, so much for being here. Thank you to the mods. That has been, you've all been amazing tonight. Thank you so, so much to all of you. And again, thank you to everybody who has subscribed. Thank you to everybody who asked questions. Thank you for the donations. And in general, thank you for sharing your Tuesday evening or afternoon or Wednesday morning, whatever it is, where you are in the world. Thank you for sharing some time with me here on this channel. It really does fill my heart. And also watching videos on my channel helps me out with the algorithm no end. So thank you to everybody who's been here. And of course, there's one group of people that I haven't mentioned. It's the replay crew. Thank you to the replay crew. You come along and you make these streams more popular. You pop comments in the comment section down below. So if you're here on the replay crew, put a purple heart in the emoji and then put a big R, and just say, there you go. Like, just say thank you very much to the replay crew. And yeah, I will see you on another stream. And as we always say, oh, Crystal Rose is here. Oh, just wanted to pop in to say you was right about the dove. He went away just after you gave me the message last week. Well, there you go. You see, I know my shit. I know my shit, as they say. Oh, Jay's here as well. Good evening to Jay. Just as I'm closing out the stream, I'll message you shortly, Jay. I hope everybody is well. But that is it from me. And as we always say on this channel, stay you, stay true, stay authentic. And I will definitely see you on the next one. Don't forget, hit your bell. There we go. Because there is going to be a podcast episode coming up within the next week or so. So make sure you hit that, hit the bell and change your settings to all to be notified of that. But that is it for me. And as I say, stay you, stay true, stay authentic, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.